Hey friends, welcome back. It's Renee with Harvest Hill Cottage. It has been a long time. I'm so happy to be back. Lots going on in my world. I can't wait to update you, and I will do so throughout this video. We're going to jump into a really fabulous thrift flip, and I'm going to take you step by step from prep to painting to adding an embellishment, and I think you're really going to enjoy this one. So let's jump right in and get started. We received this old sewing cabinet from a friend, and I'm going to keep it for myself, but I want to give it a makeover. One of my goals this year is to create a new sewing nook for myself, and I think this little cabinet is going to be perfect in my new sewing nook. This is a solid little piece, but definitely needs an upgrade. So I start out with cleaning with TSP Alternative from Fusion Mineral Paint. Just give it a really good cleaning with a lint-free cloth. Then I'm going to give it a scuff sand with a 220 grit sandpaper. Don't need to sand down to bare wood, just a scuff sand to give my paint something to hold on to. I'm going to use French Eggshell by Fusion Mineral Paint. Now the fun part. Let's get to painting. I typically have my brushes in a plastic bag when they're not in use, just to keep the brushes moist. I've got my paint here all poured in a cup, ready to go. And I do flip my smaller pieces upside down. Oh, there's my mister bottle. I always keep that handy when I'm painting. Upside down, ready to go. That way I don't miss any of the little spots hidden underneath. I use an artist brush on the legs and a larger brush on the base. Now you can see this first coat is not the best. We call that the ugly coat. Second coat looking much better. Always brush in the grain of your wood. Nice long even strokes. I've got 2 coat coverage here with Fusion. Always better to do 2 thinner coats than 1 thick coat. That way you can avoid some brush strokes and you get really great coverage. And there you have it. The base is painted up, so pretty. We're going to do a contrasting color on the top. I choose Cathedral Taupe, which is just a nice soft taupe by Fusion. All right, this is the second coat on the top. Wonderful coverage with Fusion. 2 coats is going to do it. I'm going to let this dry for a good long time, and then I'm going to do a paint wash on top of this. So stay tuned for that. But it's looking good. Now, while that's drying, we're going to get to embellishing, my favorite part. If you have never used a paint inlay, this next segment is going to be a detailed tutorial on how to apply a paint inlay. Wondering what is a paint inlay? It's exactly that. It is a painted design intended to be inlaid into your paint, designed by Iron Orchid Designs, also available on our website. We're going to be using this particular paint inlay today, Lattice Rose. It's a new release, 8 pages of beautiful designs. Makes me think of an English cottage, vintage cottage, maybe some old wallpaper. Just loving this one. We're going to apply it to our piece today. So what I have done is I have measured and cut the piece that I want to use on these drawer fronts, and I'm going to go ahead and get it applied to the drawer fronts. Now I'm going to use Fusion's Decoupage and Transfer Gel. You can actually inlay this directly into your wet paint, but because my paint is dry, I'm going to use this medium to apply my paint inlay. So I'm going to go ahead and just apply the Decoupage gel generously all over my painted drawer front here. Make sure every little speck is covered well, because in order to inlay the design onto the drawer, it needs to have a really good wet medium to lay into. Okay, now super important, you want to make sure you're applying the correct side down onto your piece. I speak from experience. Don't put the wrong side down. Make sure the grid lines are facing you while the painted design is facing your piece. I moistened with my mister bottle my inlay, and then go ahead and carefully make contact with your inlay onto your piece. I just use my fingers to gently make contact. And then I'm going to use a brayer tool just to make sure every little piece of the inlay is making excellent contact with the piece. Really important. Then I'm going to use a sponge that is damp and go ahead and just go over my entire inlay to make sure every little bit is moist. You don't want it to be saturated, but you do want it to be moist all the way, every little bit. And you can see here, there's a little bit of dry, bits on the end here. So I'm just going to make sure every little bit is moistened in order to get a really good transfer. I wait about 12 minutes with the decoupage gel, and then I'm ready to remove that carrier paper. Now, save that paper because you can actually reuse the paint inlays 2, sometimes 3 times. So I always lay my papers out, let them dry, and then I store them because they can be used a second or even third time. Now, on the sides of the sewing cabinet, I'm going to apply other pages from this inlay pack. So when I'm working with a larger piece, like on the side of a dresser or something, I will go ahead and position my paper, tape it at the top, and then roll it up. That way I don't have to fuss around too much about the placement when the time comes. So same process, put the gel on, moisten my paper, and then I can go ahead and roll it down into place. Now, like I said before, you can go ahead and inlay these designs directly into your paint. You just have to make sure it is a wet chalk style paint that will accept your inlay very nicely. The thing about Fusion is it's very quick drying, so you can use an inlay directly into Fusion, but if you're doing a larger space, you may find that Fusion paint dries a little too quickly to accept an inlay. And so that's another reason I like to use the decoupage and transfer gel with my Fusion paint. Okay, same process, just I wait about 12 minutes, make sure it's good and moist, and remove my carrier papers. And I'm loving these designs, looking so pretty on this sewing cabinet. And remember, this is actual paint that you're transferring onto your piece. Once your inlay is dry, you do want to spray it with a water-based sealer. Because it is actual paint, it will smear if you try to paint on a sealer. So I just go ahead and give it a mist, and then I'll actually seal it well a little bit later on with my sponge. All right, and while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and do a whitewash on the top of the cabinet. I just watered down my Casement paint, which is a lovely bright white. This is about a 70-30 water paint mix, and I'm just painting it on, and then I'm going to immediately wipe it back with a lint-free cloth just to give it a fun whitewash vintage look. Now, one note about whitewashing is just make sure that if you're doing a paint wash over top of a painted piece, that your base coat is fully dry. I recommend waiting at least 24 hours because you're applying a water-based product on top and you may reactivate your base paint. So just make sure it's good and dry before you introduce a whitewash or any kind of paint wash. You can create a wash with any color, and it's a really fun and nice technique. Okay, quick timeout for a life update as promised. You've noticed possibly that we've been gone for a little while, and that is because we have taken some time off to enjoy our new season of life, being grandparents. And let me tell you, we are loving every second of it. You know, life is full of joy and sorrow. And another update we have to share is the loss of our sweet Bentley Boo. If you've been following us for a while, you know that Bentley has been a big part of our lives and our journey here. And it truly breaks our heart to have to share our sad news. But we are grateful for you, and we do thank you for being patient with us while we took a little bit of time off. Okay, back to work. Now that my paint inlay is dry and I've misted it, we can go ahead and give it a really good seal with a water-based sealer. I'm using Fusion's Tough Coat and my applicator sponge and just gently sealing in my design. The reason for this is, of course, I misted it, but I really want to make sure it's well sealed. Now, I like to reuse original hardware whenever possible, so I'm giving this hardware a good soak in some vinegar water, 50-50, and then I just decided to use it just as it is. I like the old world look, and I think it fits the style perfectly. So there we have it, my sewing box all dolled up with a new, fresh look. Now here's what it looked like before as a reminder, and then with the makeover. If you like what you see here, do subscribe and give us a thumbs up. We'd love to have you come back for more DIYs and makeovers. Thanks again for watching and supporting our channel. We do appreciate you very much. Take care and God bless.